All right, spin around and boom. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Buster on the Weekend here. I am your host, MC Buster. Very glad for everybody, man, to be that has been tuning in. And hey, if you are new to the channel, please, if you like the content that I have been dropping so far with the podcast and the other funny skits that I have been doing, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the word. But all right. So before we get things cracking, I want to start off with thoughts of the day, and this right here is from Revelations 3:20, and it says, "Behold," and says, and says, I'm sorry, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me." God is great. Amen. 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 Through Jesus Christ. Amen. Revelation is it's pretty much going to be the end of the story, pretty much the end of the story, which is where everything is going to happen. It's not just going to happen in one time. It's going to be going through some phases, especially when the horns start blowing and we begin to see all the craziness that's going to end up happening as we live in this world. There's no telling when it will happen, but it will happen soon. You know, as of right now, we just gotta do our best to enjoy life to the fullest. Take time and have more happy days than sad and depressed and angry days. Regardless if the storm is around you, it might be a gray cloud around a lot of people, but it doesn't mean to that affect you day by day. Something that might be holding you back, like a personal setback, like what I'm going through right now. I try to find my way, around the setback and just think more about things that make me feel good on a mentally and physical level. Think about things that makes me happy, that makes me smile, that inspires me and motivates me to the core right here. Because as much as we make appointments to visit a doctor or visit your college advisor from school and stuff, the rest of for classes for the semester, upcoming semester, things like that. But we cannot make an appointment for the day that we have to go away from this earth. We cannot make appointments on that. That's something that a pastor was telling us about when around late. I believe it was around before the week before, the Saturday before Valentine's Day. When my auntie funeral was when we had my auntie funeral, rest in peace to her. That the pastor said that we can, much as appointments we can make for other things in this world, we cannot make an appointment on the day that it's time for us to leave this world. And that's really sick. I have days that I ain't gonna lie, like I be having some days where I be feeling scared that about facing death and everything. Especially since the day that all the shit that happened to me in that last year in August. But before then, I've been I've been having some dreams about, I know that anybody can relate to like them type of dreams where you see yourself fall into a big ass body of water, then you wake up, right then, like you instantly wake up, thinking that try to stop yourself from dying and stuff. I not only that's like one of the type of dreams that I've been having, but like on any day, we're all going, having to go. If it ain't today, and then it might be tomorrow, it might be tomorrow, next week, and next year. But it's all about, living your life to the fullest. Yellow, you only live once. Take time and think about things that make you happy, that inspires you, that motivates you right through here. Whoever that's miserable and shit that hold you back, that is so much into negativity, who is dealing with a lot of unhealed ass trauma and shit, the best thing you can do is remove yourself so you won't have to fall upon that kind of misery that person still craving inside their heart. Because they gotta change for themselves. They gotta heal for themselves. You can't heal them. If they don't appreciate the love they have that you trying to give out the very first couple of times, they gonna start missing that shit the moment when you say that's it. I had enough of this shit. I try to give you all that I could, and you still don't want to be blind, stupid. You want to be a mentally weak, dumbass bitch. You not appreciating the love that I try to give you day by day, and shit try to love you properly all day. I'm not finna put up with your toxicity no more. I'm not finna put up with your unhealed ass ways no more. If you ain't trying to change for yourself in order for the relationship to be better between us, then I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There's no point in me continue being here if you're not showing that you want things to work out for us. Fuck all that. But let's go ahead and move on to I want to talk about a couple of games that happened on Monday. Even though there was about 4 games that happened yesterday. But I want to press out some key games from Monday. The Nuggets and Warriors had faced off. Warriors on their home court, while Denver is just playing, making that visit. But unfortunately, Denver had came away with the win. Russell Westbrook leading the way despite a bad shooting, nice shooting 30%. He has recorded another triple double into the books, into the records. Now and he is now at 203. Aaron Gordon was leading the way in points on scoring by 38 and 6 rebounds and 3 assists. And all this was done without Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Christian Brown. Christian Brown is coming along too, especially on the defensive end and everything. One of the key contributors for them that was helping them win the 2023 championship against Miami. And now with Russell Westbrook, still holding that top number 1 spot in most triple doubles of all time. He is now along with Oscar Robertson, the only point guards who have a lot of triple double seasons that are right now at 26,000 points, and he had reached that the last week. Congratulations to him for so. Because he had like 3 straight fucking seasons averaging triple double since KD left, man. That man, especially that first season, man, he was pissed, living like a motherfucker, living like crazy. And then he carried on that special triple double element into the first season of Watson. I feel like that. I wish he could have stayed there for another 2-3 seasons, so it helped them, get more relevant. But he is right now. He is the reason why that that the team is more relevant since John Wall has went down the way that he did. Recovered from a season-ending injury, and then the off season, he fell and broke his Achilles at home, which is crazy, man. It's definitely gonna be a long time for him to recover from it. But unfortunately, as of right now, he is an analyst on the show on ESPN. I believe it's NBA Today. But either way, man, he's still doing great for himself. It's still one of the greatest all-time players on the Washington Wizards. So, still gotta give credit where credit is due. So, all right. So, Then we got the Spurs and the Lakers. The Lakers were on their home court, killing the Spurs by 16 with the absence of De'Aaron Fox, who is now out for the season with a broken hand, and Victor Wembanyama, who was out, who was already injured before March that came around. I feel like for that team, if those two key players did not get hurt the way they did, then chances that they probably would have been around the 10th or 9th seed right now. But right now, they are out of the playing spot. Now having the Trailblazers beating them in the conference by 2 wins, even though they still at the bottom themselves, sitting at the 11th seed. And right behind, and next team they are right behind Phoenix Suns beating the Raptors by 40 plus points. Phoenix have been struggling themselves, with the big three of Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. Here is the thing. A lot of people be saying offense wins games, but no, it's not going to happen all the time. So much you cannot expect for a team to go that far, and you got so much of isolation scores. You cannot. And then with the addition of Bradley Beal, it made it worse, pretty much, because it's going to be hard for them to trade for anybody for during his contract of over 100 or over 150 mil. I bet they traded Jokic. They had traded. They traded Yusuf Nurkic during the trade deadline for Nick Richards for Charlotte Hornets, and he himself hasn't been doing great since going there. He's been pretty much terrible, which is one of the reasons why they are still losing the games when they should be winning more. But they are still within the playing on spot, and now you got Dallas Mavericks, who is the only team right now that have over 4+ players who is fucking injured. Since Nico Harrison did the bullshit that he did, trading one of the greatest, about to be greatest franchise players on the team since Dirk. Ever since that day, that's when everybody else start falling down. Either it's because of what they did, or it's because that's something that naturally happens. Especially with Kyrie Irving, now he's suffering a season-ending injury with the ACL tear. But he's able to shoot 2 free throws at the best. But the only star that is reliable as of right now is Klay Thompson for sure. But they are within the playing spot. Hopefully that they are able to keep themselves alive. As right now it's going to 15 games left for the season. It's still a lot of time for them to get things together, and it's still a lot of time for Portland to get things together themselves. If they mess around and beat Phoenix for their playing spot, they'll be one of the greatest surprises ever. And it'll be a surprise if they make it to the playoffs. It'll be a surprise if they make it to the playoffs, because ever since Damian Lillard had left. CJ McCollum getting traded. Yusuf Nurkic is out there. They have been on the process, most definitely for the rebuilding for sure. They had a very rough start to the season, but right now they are slowly picking things up. But like I said, they got a lot of time on their hands if they want to make the playing spot. But so the Lakers, going back to the Lakers, it's a second win since LeBron had been out LeBron been out with the injury that he had suffered against Boston. They still had lost their game, resorted to them losing 4 straight, 3 more straight after that. It could have been just 3 losses though, because when they had faced on Denver on their home court, it was a pretty close game. I feel like that Austin Reeves in the Koyoko person could have did more better getting off on the screen. And then if things would have been a little bit more better on defensive end, especially with those two, doing more better and to switching up all the screen that Jokic was sending from Murray to hit the clutch shot to put them up by three, it's chance that they would stay alive. It's chance they would stay alive in the game. But either way, they was able to, come big, both Austin Reeves and Dalton Net, were able to score 30 plus points, keeping them alive, but unfortunately it didn't work out, which resulted in them having a record of 2-13 against Denver, and so far, getting swept in the playoffs, 2023 conference finals, getting swept the last season 4 straight, and then losing another five more games right after that. Even though they had took one win against them, but I like to apologize because it's 2 for 14, not 2 for 13. My bad, my apologies on that. All right, so for the next topic that I'm going to touch on, it's called the generational debate. You know, all right, so a lot of people have been having this debate that's been going on for about a good 9 plus years. With the 90s, 2000s, and pretty much the 2010s on as of right now. With Michael Jordan